Hey, now this is new? A short scripted video? Impressions? A quickie? A quick look? A flash bob, that's what we'll call it. What can I say? I played this game on stream, and the very next morning I woke up compelled by dark forces to put my thoughts into a script and reuse my precious content. The X-Files, the show, was highly influential, is fondly remembered, stars two of the sexiest white people in history, and is, as a whole, not that good a show. Look, I own the DVD box set, okay? I've seen every episode multiple times, and this show just doesn't hold up. Lots of neat concepts, lots of groundbreaking writing, and indeed, enough actually great episodes to deserve its reputation, but in between that greatness there's a lot of disappointment and frustration. Don't let that stop you from enjoying it though, I only judge from afar. So, for this interactive full-motion video point-and-click adventure based on the property, where do you think it lands on that great to frustrating spectrum? The X-Files game starts off promising, and by that I mean promising that you'll play as Mulder and or Scully, but no, instead you're placed in the shoes of Seattle-based FBI agent and wet towel Craig Wilmore, whose character traits include being interested in the Civil War, being an overwhelmingly thoroughly divorced dad, and being, I kid you not, the worst prospective author of all time. I think that maybe bad things would happen because I took the drugs and God was up there watching and took a mind to punish me. But Alvin said that was guilt only, and if drugs were so bad to put God of a mind to hurt a body who was taking, then why? Wow. To be fair, other than the disappointment of not getting to play as the dynamic X duo, the game does start on a strong foot. Once you can get it to start, that is. I've got files. No! These technical issues aren't really the fault of the game itself though, so I will just continue to blame a shadowy cabal of old white men pulling the strings from a smoky boardroom for everything in the world. But I wanted to believe, and I managed to get the game running without having to resort to playing the vastly inferior PlayStation version. It doesn't even let you type in your password over and over again to log into your FBI computer. Anyway, it's a point and click, but it starts off like a detective game. Collect the clues, interview witnesses, correlate data, find contradictions, use a virtual computer database. The kind of stuff that makes me tingle down below just a little bit. Then the game becomes more obviously linear and starts introducing bizarre, weird fail states and terrible combat segments. The interface has good bits and bad. Interactive computer? Nice. Apple Newton? Cool. Nokia phone? Cool. Nice. Though you rarely get a chance to use it. Inventory and dialogue systems are a bit all over the place. Some of these icons are almost a puzzle in themselves. Navigation is an absolute chore, especially in locations where there is no grid layout. Still, these things can be forgiven if the story is good. It's April 1996 and Agent Craig Walmart is asked by Assistant Director Seymour Skinner to look up a couple of missing agents. Guess who? Along the way you meet the game's limited cast of characters such as love interest detective, obviously in on the conspiracy partner, and affably creepy, or is that creepably affable, lab tech, uncovering a global, nay, interstellar conspiracy, or at least seeing the fuzzy outlines of it, and getting cameos of some of your favorite X-Files characters. Eventually teaming up with Dana and Fox themselves to take down a black oil alien with remarkably little consequence for the almost literally earth-shattering facts that were uncovered. Ironically, the half of the game before you find Scully and Mulder is the best half, as you encounter some weirdos, find strange contradictory evidence, and slowly piece together what happened to our missing FBI agents. Then X contacts you and just tells you where to go, and both the story and the gameplay kinda fall apart. Shooting a bunch of dudes in a maze-like warehouse is an exercise in frustration, especially when you, the player, already know that this is all a red herring set up by your corrupt partner. But the main character is just kind of an emotionless sack of potatoes, and you just want to yell at him that it's obvious his partner planted a gun! For God's sakes, man! Fail states get weirder and weirder too. I get that they were trying to gate access to Scully through some kind of dialogue puzzle, but is it really so strange that some cops are investigating a Jane Doe related to the case without knowing exactly who she is? Why does the nurse call security for this? Why do I need to tell Scully this exact sequence of dialogue even though other options seem truthful and similar enough? Oh my god, how am I supposed to move through this environment with this navigation system, and why do I randomly get shot if I make the wrong choice? The second half of the game is filled with just incomprehensible adventure game moon logic that is not parsable without a guide. because nothing in the game tells you what to do or where to go, and you're often just clicking on random interactables to see what works. Here's the wire cutters. Thankfully, the checkpointing is generous, and it is also the part of the game you get to see David Duchovny being somehow smoldering and aloof at the same time in that way that just makes you zone out for a bit.
Oh, Roush. Yeah, he always did have a kinky streak.
Look, writing an interesting pair to compete with Scalder and Molly is an unenviable task, so I don't blame the writers of the game for giving up on that entirely. Nevertheless, I wanted more from it. Some consistency, maybe. Some balance between the crap and the good. The game is an interesting curiosity, a kind of mildly interactive yet highly frustrating side episode that even gets its own official episode number. But yeah, this is not a great episode. It's not even a good episode. So it is very similar to the show after all. It's also not a good adventure game. Even if you're a big X-Files fan, I would just watch a long play on YouTube. Personally, I do absolutely still want to get my hands on a box copy of the game though, because that entire package looks hot as fuck. Okay, here's another one.